Hi everyone, it's Rose, the author of Excel with Love, and today I wanted to share a recent experience of mine that I felt was so profound and moving that I wanted to share it with everyone who's watching this video. So recently I had attended a play called Another Day in Paradise by Blind Spot Productions, and it's a play where they interviewed the homeless population in the area, and in their words, they share what life was like before they became homeless, what led them to be homeless, and what life is like on the streets as a homeless person. And the thing that really moved me and I paid attention to was that, people have a tendency to judge the homeless population and to think that they're lazy and they don't want to do anything with their lives. And people have a tendency to dehumanize them and to scoff at them. But truth is, before they were homeless, they were just like all of us, and it could easily be one of us that are in their situation. What led a lot of them to be homeless was one tragedy after the other and a lot of pain that they went through. A lot of them had families like us. A lot of them did live in a home and had jobs, and were just in situations that unless you go through it, you don't know what it's like. And the thing that struck me also was that a lot of them talked about the pain that they had to go through before, during, and in the present moment. And it's hard to see that some of the songs that and things that were acted out in the play was that they went through so much, but yet we treat them like they're not human. There's a song called Keep Your Head Down because as a homeless person, they're so used to people dehumanizing them that they learn to keep their head down and just stay in their lane. And we think about it, nobody wants to be in that position. And when you're in a place where you feel stuck, it's almost like, where do I go from here? A lot of the stories that I heard were very tragic. Like one person's story was they had a wife and an unborn child, and in 1 week, that wife and unborn child were killed in an accident. And they also lost their mother and father in the same week. And of course, going through that kind of pain and tragedy, the person experienced a lot of depression where they could no longer take care of themselves. So they ended up not being able to go to work or to just do the day-to-day functions, to the point where they eventually got kicked out of their home and ended up on the streets. There were other stories of women who were in abusive relationships where they wanted to protect their children, so they fled and escaped from their abusive spouse. But because they were just housewives, they had nowhere to go and ended up on the streets as well. Another story was a wife who took care of her elderly husband, but once he passed away, didn't have anything to help sustain, because of her age, to help sustain living in a home, so ended up on the streets. And all of these people who are going through so much pain were put in situations that none of us would ever want to go through. And yet people look at them like they're just lazy, good for nothing people that, people tend to scoff at and not want to have anything to do with. And for me, I feel like people need to see a play like this to learn that, we're all wanting validation. We're all wanting a good life. We're all wanting to be able to provide for our children. But sometimes some people just have a really hard time in life. And to be treated in a way that there's no compassion, no kindness, it's like, how do they get out of that situation when all that happens in their life is just pain and tragedy? And the one thing that really moved me was one of the songs that was sung was, and this is in the words of these homeless people, is that despite them going through all that tragedy, despite being treated like they're not human beings, and despite them trying but being stuck in that pain, they're still here and they're still trying. And the song was like, one of the main phrases was, "I'm still here." Meaning they're still trying their best to not be in that situation. But sometimes it really is hard to get out of that situation. If you can think of being on the streets, not being able to have the basic necessities that we all have and take for granted, like taking a bath, being able to use a bathroom without people staring and running away, or, just basic human necessities. They're still out here trying to live life and trying their best to get off the streets. So, you know, the one thing that I hope that we can take away from this video and the messages that I heard is, I should say, that let's have compassion towards people. Let's not judge and think that we're better and dehumanize people for the situations that they're in. Everybody has a story, and everybody has gone through something that could easily put us into that situation. So let's do our part. And one of the things they said is that people think that, well, there's nothing I can do about it. They made their bed, so they have to live in it. But they said people don't realize that even small acts of kindness completely changes their day and helps give them that motivation and help to continue to fight and move forward. And sometimes that's acknowledging them, asking them, what do they need? Anything. We may think that, I used to be in this situation because I've lived with people who were in poverty. And I wish I could help each and every single person, but I'm only one person, and I don't have that much that I could give. But whatever I could give, I always try to give, because I know what little that we could give does help. An example was when a long time ago, there were floods in Louisiana, and neighborhoods were like completely devastated, where people could no longer live in their homes. And I remember doing an outreach program to some of these neighborhoods where we went door to door to give care packages, because some people were still like in the homes trying to, get all the furniture out. And it was something that, like, not you don't obviously you don't see every day, where like people's entire lives were out on the streets with all the furniture and everything that was damaged. And it felt like kind of eerie walking through the neighborhood. But the people that were in their homes and we gave care packages to, the look on their faces and just the gratitude and joy that they felt, that there are people out there that cared about them enough to come check on them and give whatever little help they could. It really helped them. And later on, they say pay it forward. When they were able to finally get back on their feet, they were also able to help others in need. So again, I'm just sharing this message because maybe next time there's something that, if we're out and about and we see homeless people, instead of judging them, let's look at them as, that could be me. And what can I do to help them, even if it's just a little act of kindness? So that was the message I wanted to share with everyone, and hopefully somebody got something out of it. And I just wanted to share all the love and kindness and compassion to whoever's watching this video as well. Sending love to everyone who's watching. Bye, everyone.